Good morning, everybody. Uneducated economist here. It's been a while since I put out a video. Not that the 7 people who watch my videos are really missing me or anything, but that I get out there today and talk a little bit about some of the things that I'm reading on blockchain technologies and countries. Right. So Australia just recently is working on getting a blockchain technology set up to do money transfers cross borders, right? So outside of the country and within inside of the country, working with the different corporations and whatnot. So this isn't new. A lot of countries are actually working on stuff like this, but what was really big news to me is that IBM and Australia are working together on this. And what I like about that is that if you go back and you Google this, you'll find that IBM is also working with companies like Walmart to institute a blockchain technology. Google that a little bit farther and you will find that IBM is working with Stella Lumens. Okay, Stella Lumens is the blockchain cryptocurrencies of choice that they are decided that they are going to implement into their blockchain technologies that they're going to help out these countries and corporations with. Very exciting. If you are a Stella Lumens holder, that's very positive news for that ledger. So good luck with those guys. I'm gonna start, incorporating some Stella Lumens into my portfolio. I've already had some, just a little bit, because I try and have skin in the game on everything, even if I don't approve of it. Like I'm not approving of silver ETFs, but I own a little bit of it. And it's not much, believe me, all those guys who are like, that's, you shouldn't own that. Believe me, what I can get with my silver ETFs is like, I buy through M1 app, so I can buy just a fraction. So I have literally $10 in silver ETFs. It's not an investment. It's just to have some skin in the game to pay attention with. That's it. That's kind of how I do things. I don't really have a whole lot of money, so I just kind of put little tiny pieces of money in different places just to watch what happens with it. I can't afford to invest $10,000 or $1,000, or sometimes I can't even really afford to invest $100. So yeah, so I buy little tiny pieces of investments. Trying to use cryptocurrencies is a great place because you can just buy just a few dollars worth if you wanted to. $20, $30 worth is not a big deal. You do pay a little bit on the premiums if you're going through Coinbase or something like that. You got some commissions to pay, so it's better to buy higher amounts than it is lower amounts on that stuff. But if $20 is all you got and you really want it, then go for it. I don't think if you're a hodler, it ain't gonna matter what price you paid for it right now, because it's if Bitcoin goes to $100,000, are you really gonna give a shit if you paid $6,000 or $7,000? It's not going to make any difference to you if it's $100,000, right? So that's that part is almost the price of it right now is almost inconsequential. It doesn't really mean anything. Of course, you want to buy low and sell high. That's the goal of any purchasing of anything. If you buy high and sell low, then you lose money. That's a stupid concept. So if you're a hodler, which basically means, and anybody who doesn't know what hodl means, it's HODL, and it stands for hold on for dear life. It's a very common phrase amongst the crypto community. But kind of lost my train of thought there on what I was going with it. But if you the Stella Lumens, if you were looking just to kind of get a piece of that, Abra app is a wonderful place to go to. And I'll put a link to Abra into the descriptions of this video. In M1, I'll put a link to M1 as well. And hell, Coinbase. I'll put a link to Coinbase in there for you guys. And these are wonderful places that you can go to as a little guy trying to get in to investments. This is a prime opportunity. We have an opportunity unlike any time in history for stuff like this. Now, what I guess I mean by that is that if you were really into the .com thing before it ran up, and you could see that this .com thing is really going to blow up and there's going to be a lot of money to be made, it's going to bubble up. Well, if you could see that into the future and you wanted to invest in that and you didn't have a whole lot of money, like you only had $100 a month to invest into it, you weren't going to really be able to get in, right? I mean, I guess you could get an E-Trade account, you could pay a $10 commission to get in, you're going to lose 10% right off the bat. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, if it did run up to that huge number and you cashed out, you do pretty well, but it's really hard to pay a 10% premium just to get in on a purchase, you know. I mean, it bites, right? Nobody would really want to do that. Now, if you're putting $1,000 in and you pay $10 commission, that ain't such a big deal, right? But you know, $10 on $100, it's 10% loss just for making the purchase. It sucks. Nobody wanted to do that. Well, nowadays you got ABRAP. That'll get you cryptocurrencies. It gives you exposure to a bunch of different cryptocurrencies, and the commissions, the payments, fees on it are incredibly low, pennies, right? Just a few pennies. And then M1, same thing. This gives you ability to buy fractions of a stock. So if you have like a couple of stocks out there that you really think are going to do well, you know, especially like if you wanted to short, you know, say the Dow or something like that, because you think the Dow is going to be heading down here anytime now, then you can buy these ultra short ETFs and stuff like that using the M1 app, and you can buy $10 worth if you want. You don't have to buy, you know, $1,000 worth, or buy a minimum, or buy a whole, you know, position in it. You can buy a fraction of it, and you know, if that goes up 10%, your little position will go up 10%. It's a really, really good way for guys like us to get in, because we never had that opportunity before. So you know, look into these things. The idea that of investments is going to change. The next 10 years is going to look very different than the last 10 years, or in fact, it's going to look different from any position in history, because we are going to be moving into something that is entirely different from anything that anybody's ever seen before. Blockchain technology is, once it is fully incorporated, it is going to revolutionize the way we do life in general. Bill payments are going to be happening on demand. You won't be like, okay, here's your bill for the end of the month. It won't be like that. It'll just occur as you're moving along. You know, it's going to be like you turn the lights on and it's going to automatically start ticking away off of like a preloaded wallet, so to speak. I can't tell you how these things work because I'm not technically like savvy on computers and stuff like that, but I can tell you that the blockchain technology is going to definitely be incorporated into every aspect of your life, from the food you eat to the cars you drive to music you listen to. It's all going to get tokenized. It's all going to go on the blockchain, and we are very much in the infancy stage of this. So you know, 2010, when Bitcoin came up there and everybody started listening and learning about it, that was like the conception period, right? That was like, you know, gestation. You know, even when it ran up and did all that other stuff, it really didn't birth out there until last year. And I guess what I mean by that is that, yeah, there was technology, yeah, there was people making money, yeah, there was exchanges, yeah, there was a lot of people who would probably think, no, you're dumb, you're way out of there. But last year, Bitcoin finally became exposed to everybody. Bitcoin became a household name then. There's very few people who haven't heard of Bitcoin nowadays. Blockchain technology, they may not understand, or cryptocurrencies in general, but they've heard the word Bitcoin, may not understand it, but they know that it exists out there now. And that's what I mean. It's a baby, right? It's a baby that nobody understands or knows. It doesn't speak. It doesn't do anything like that yet. But one day it will. Okay? Okay, I hope I didn't ramble on too much with some psychobabble. Love you guys. Bye.